Hello everyone and good day from wherever you're watching. My name is Shoma Odikolo and I welcome you all to the Renewed Parenting platform. Today we'll be discussing about 5 strategies to set boundaries as parents for our children. Now, what is the meaning of boundaries? The boundaries refers to the limits, the rules, the expectations we set for our children, the expectations we establish to guide our children's behaviors and their interactions. Now, boundaries help our children to understand what is acceptable in our families, what is not acceptable in our families. Boundaries provide structure, it provides consistency, in the way we raise our children. Now, as a parent, it's very important for us to set boundaries in our homes because boundaries create the structure we need for our children to grow. Boundaries create the consistency we need for our children to grow. Boundaries set the expectations. Our children know what is expected in our families. Now, we're going to discuss 5 strategies on how to help us to set boundaries in our homes. Number one, we have to be clear and specific. Now you have to clearly define what this boundary is, and you have to define this boundary in a way that is age appropriate. You don't speak complex, you don't make it complex, don't make it difficult to understand. For example, if you have a child that is 3 years or 4 years old, and one of your boundaries is we don't do screen time while you are eating, you communicate that boundary to that child. Age appropriate, use age appropriate language in a way the child understands. Now, the second way is to set realistic expectation. As parents, it's our duty to understand the age bracket of our children or the developmental milestone of our children and set those boundaries in a way that will be age appropriate. Now, we have to ensure that the boundaries we set are realistic and achievable based on the age of our children, based on the abilities of our children, and based on the developmental stage of our children. If you have a 3-year-old and you have a 7-year-old, definitely the boundary you set for a 3-year-old might be slightly different from the boundary you're setting for a 7-year-old. For instance, you could give your 7-year-old screen time maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and your 3-year-old, you give your 3-year-old or your 4-year-old screen time of 10 minutes. The boundaries we set, we have to set realistic expectations. Don't expect so much from a 3-year-old. Our expectations have to be age appropriate. Then number 3, we have to be consistent. We have to enforce these boundaries consistently, because when we are consistent in enforcing these boundaries, it reinforces the importance. For example, as a parent, when you say no screen time while eating, you have to be consistent with it. And you don't go, maybe probably the next day you're saying something different from what you said the previous day. Today you don't do screen, then tomorrow you do screen, the next day you say, okay, we're not doing screen. So as parents, we have to be consistent with our boundaries, because consistency is very important for our children. When our children understand consistency, it helps them to understand the consequences of their actions. So as a parent, we have to be consistent with our boundaries. Then inconsistency can also lead to confusion. It could make the children confused. It makes the children not knowing what we expect of them. So we have to stick to our boundaries and we have to be consistent with it. Then number 4, we have to use positive reinforcement. We should praise and reward our children. When they carry out these boundaries, we should reinforce, we should praise their effort. You can tell them, oh, well done, I can see you're not doing screen time while eating. That is very beautiful, that is very good, well done, keep it up. We should positively reinforce what they do, and don't say, oh, that is what is expected of you. No, we should positively reinforce, we should praise, we should acknowledge the effort they are making to keep to that particular boundary. Then number 5 is that we have to model respectful behavior. As parents, we have to lead by example. We have to demonstrate respectful behavior towards our children. If you say no screen time while eating, as a parent, also observe that boundary of no screen time while eating. You can't tell your child no screen time while eating, and you as a parent, you're watching screen while eating. So as a parent, we have to understand that we have to model these behaviors for our children. Now, we have to understand that implementing these strategies, it makes us as parents to set the boundaries that will promote positive behaviors for our children. It makes our children to be respectful and to develop healthily. So it's very good for us as parents to set these boundaries in place for our children, and we have to model these boundaries. We have to lead by example. We don't go against what we've told our children to do. So thank you very much for listening to me. I believe you've got value from this class. Please like this video, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel called The Renewed Parenting. And if you've got any question, please feel free to drop it down in the comment section and we'll be happy to answer. Remember to be renewed in your minds. Thank you very much and see you later. Bye.